The Magician Archetype is what we're doing today. The magician could be known as a sage, a wise old man, a prophet or alchemist, inventor, catalyst, many names for the magician. And their gifts is that they channel the power that they have gained from knowledge and use that for the good of all. They are also masters of illusion. Now, I really fell in love with the idea of maybe using AI because magicians really have mastered technology as well. And so I thought, well, let's use AI. I had troubles with creating eyes, so this was one that I came up with, but I didn't like that one so much. And then this is another one that I came up with, which I'm much happier with. So this is on a business paper, and I'm going to put it down on a gel plate and press hard and kind of brayer it on, if you will, with my hand. And see what happens. I'm not sure if I need to leave that for a while or just a couple of minutes. Well, we do have something coming across already. It's hard to see. Let's see. If I put a piece of paper underneath it, you can see it. Yeah, you can see that coming up on the plate a little bit. But I think I am going to leave that a little while longer. Now, the magician definitely trusts his intuition. And so I said, well, let me see. I'm going to try another way. So I went ahead and reproduced this copy on a very sheer. And that's going to be very interesting. What I had started with was coming up with these are prepared pieces that I had already of this is silk fibers fused, and I really liked how they're very kind of eerie. I just would have to figure out how this goes, but I also liked this other piece. I like the mystique that's involved in both of these with kind of having different images or shadow areas. So then here's these eyes, and if I lay them down, I'm getting some kind of an idea of what they're going to be like. They're probably better off in the darker areas. Here's a great quote from King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. That's a book written by Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette. The secret knowledge, of course, gives the magician an enormous amount of power. And because he has the knowledge of the dynamics of energy, flows, and patterns in nature, in human individuals and societies, and among the gods, the deep unconscious forces, he is a master at containing and channeling power. The magician was always referred to as the strategist in the kingdom. And so the king have really prized the magicians. So I'm going to let this jelly plate kind of sit for a little while longer. I don't want to rush that because I do really want to compare the two different eyes and then see how I might apply it. So let's see what we have with this transfer. That's not very much, but let's see if I keep going what happens. So I'm using a blue and a little bit of green. Mixing that on the plate. I don't want there to be too much paint, so I'm trying to get rid of some off to the side here. My jelly plate might be a little dirty. This does not look very promising. Well, it's certainly a beautiful color. but it's not doing me any good. I think I'll let that sit on the plate and dry. I'll use that for something else. So back to the drawing board. So here I have this and I have this, and I'm gonna sew those two together and end up with the eyes there. Probably just above that seam line because it'll make it seem even more mysterious. I'm gonna sew that up. Okay, I've decided that I'm going to use this fused abalone shell sheer fabric that I had taken a picture of the shell and then printed that out on the sheer. And knowing that the Magician really is the master of technology and innovation, using these powers to create. Scientists can be seen as magicians, all of the great ones, including probably Einstein and King Arthur and Merlin. That's a great example. What's nice about this piece is it's going to be a little smaller than they usually are. I love how this has kind of iridescent layers in it, very indicative of the archetype. Now in the shadow, the Magician can be very trickster-like, very ego-oriented, out for himself, grandiosity kind of feelings, and is a master manipulator. We probably all know people like that. And in the shadow, the Magician archetype distracts or disrupts or deceives, withholds the truth, is not transparent, very secretive. But in the light, the Magician has discernment, doesn't act from that agenda of ego or personal agenda. And the Magician in the light is a constant learner, always putting together the information. And the Magician in the light can be kind of a fake it till you make it kind of attitude, but it's in the context of really coming from intuition, not like as a fraud, not like a cover-up or acting, but coming from a source of intuition. You know, I don't really like that this is so much on the edge. So now I gotta come in here and cut this edge. The Magician can be the tribe elder. That's also another great way to look at Magician. They frequently take an apprentice. I like how these are kind of lining up over here. Another great quote is by Carol Pearson. And she says, the archetype of the Magician teaches us about creation, about our capacity to bring into being what never was there before, about claiming our roles as co-creators of the universe. So in that respect, you can kind of think of the Magician, that we all have the Magician available in us because we're all co-creating our destiny. I also like to follow Susanna Barlow with her Thresholds blog, where she's referring to archetypes. And something she said is that the Magician is a thinker, a weaver, a creator of sacred space, a visionary and an intuitive, and can easily bridge the inner world of mind and spirit to the outer world. You just see the hint of the eyebrow. It's quite a mysterious piece. But now I'm going to take some pearl cotton and I'm going to bring in some more of that orange. Going to just kind of change that up with some element of surprise. Know that the Magician artist really provides us the gift of believing in the seemingly impossible and provides us access to our own imagination and that realm of wonderment and awe and the artwork that is produced for the greater good that the Magician makes really makes the world a better place. We need more magicians.